Hey everyone, this is Michael and welcome to episode 27 of Play On Gamer. Now before I start, I'd like to wish you and your family and or friends happy holidays and hopefully you get to spend time with family or friends. You're not cooped up at home. Go out, visit some family, visit some friends, spend a few hours with them. It's the holiday season. Okay, so on to episode 27, Play On Gamer. Now the title for today's episode is Rise of the 5G Era. Now what is 5G? 5G is basically the fifth generation wireless technology. 5G is better and is reported to be 20 times more than what's possible with the current wireless technology we have in North America, which is 4G LTE. Now, in my research, I have found that in ideal conditions, 5G can hit download speeds of 20 gigabytes per second with latency down to about a millisecond. However, when 5G starts to roll out across the world, we won't be able to achieve the peak download speeds of 20 gigabytes per second just yet. When carriers begin to launch 5G networks, some countries have already started, some won't start until 2019. According to the carriers in Canada, between TELUS and Bell and Rogers, they're looking at 2020 to roll out 5G networks. Now, when these networks are initially rolling out, they'll be achieving peak download speeds of 6 gigabytes per second, and with latency in the single digits. Now, latency is the time delay between processing of network data from one point to the next. Now, these speeds will only be possible in areas with millimeter wave spectrum or wave, which is an extremely high frequency band that offers high data speeds but has a short range. Carriers would install many boxes with wave antennas across any given coverage area, such as inside buildings, within telephone poles and ducts. Now, carriers will continue to use low and medium frequency bands to cover range. Urban areas with wave will be the first to experience 5G. In Canada, 5G speed tests are being staged in downtown Toronto, such as in areas around the Rogers Centre, and also in downtown Vancouver in areas around BC Place. Now, another thing to note is that areas that have antennas won't always assure that people will receive those peak download speeds live. But what is ensured with rolling out 5G is that the real world speeds will increase to be in the hundreds of megabytes per second. So 5G is expected to hit maturity within 10 years, and we'll look to see what develops out of 5G. Now, let's look at the previous wireless networks and what they have brought to the world. Now, with 2G brought text messaging. 4G LTE, a lot of people like to coin that to streaming video. But what will be the case for 5G? Now, the first thing that comes to mind to me is streaming services. We should be aware of services such as Netflix, Amazon Prime, and Hulu. Hulu is mostly based in America, but due to Disney buying the 20th Century Fox, they also acquired some stock that belonged to Fox in terms of Hulu. So now Disney, by January 2019, they'll have a majority share of Hulu. They'll basically be the majority owners of Hulu. And one of their plans for Hulu is to expand Hulu internationally. So Hulu will be found in places like outside the US, like Canada and Europe and other countries, along with Disney Plus. Now, with these services, we're already running these services, whether it be on broadband or 4G LTE. With 5G, 5G will lower the latency times for these streaming services on mobile. 5G opens the door even wider for cloud gaming and VR games to reach even more gamers, due to it offering broadband speeds to mobile users. Now, cloud gaming is simply being able to play a game via streaming instead of downloading. The only downside is that with cloud gaming, the user needs to be consistently online. Now, cloud gaming has been going on for a while on the PC side, even from back in the early 2000s. In 2003, OnLive was created. And in 2015, it was acquired by Sony. Sony acquired the important parts of OnLive in 2015. Sony has since rolled out PlayStation Now, which streams PlayStation platform titles to the PC and PlayStation 4 users. Now with 5G, the ability to have this service run on mobile is very possible, as issues relating to internet speed and latency are improved with 5G rather than 4G LTE. Project xCloud, this is a streaming service recently announced by Microsoft. Microsoft aims to allow gamers to play Xbox games on multiple devices and not just on the Xbox console. So essentially, this proves that 5G is the best streaming service to go forward with cloud gaming. 5G also opens up the market for the current giants of cloud technology, this being, in my opinion, AWS and Azure, to allow Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, or even Facebook with their Oculus technology to become competitors alongside Microsoft and PlayStation in cloud gaming. Now, if you notice, Microsoft has been on a acquisition rampage. They recently acquired five internal studios, and this was done to give the Xbox brand exclusive titles. Sony appears to be on the acquisition spree as well for the upcoming year, and personally, I'm thinking both companies going on acquisition sprees. This is more than to just acquire studios to make exclusive games. I personally think that these two companies buying up game developers is to prevent streaming services that don't know how to make games to come in and take up these gaming developers away from Microsoft and Sony. So I believe that's the case, even though they don't want to, either company doesn't want to mention it. I think that's the case of them going on acquisition sprees. Now, console-based gaming, without the use of the cloud, is still the accepted way to game, whether you live in Europe or you live in North America. But with this future of 5G, I'm very excited about this future because it's going to allow us to do things that we've never done before. Like with 5G, like you're going to be able to, say, go to the park or go to the beach, and you'll be able to play your PlayStation 4 games or your Xbox One games outdoors, whether it be on a laptop or a mobile device, and you'll be able to you can do that right now, but the added feature with 5G is that with the broadband speeds, you'll be able to access network features such as multiplayer and stuff, which I think will be a very cool experience, and I can't wait to try that out. Okay, so that does it for episode 27 of Play On Gamer. This is Michael, and I'll see you later.